Right now, it's 6, a quick high with dangerous consequences. San Mateo County leaders move to ban nitrous oxide sales as the drug spreads across the Bay Area and the country.
Just completely wrecks people's lives.
We'll introduce you to the teenager behind an effort to cut off the supply before young people get hooked. Plus, fewer and fewer children are heading back to school fully vaccinated.
I think what's happening is unfortunately a lot of distrust.
We'll meet an East Bay doctor trying to reverse the trend.
That is heading in the wrong direction.
And San Francisco teachers having some of the same old payroll issues despite a brand new system. How the district is working on a fix.
We will not have the same debacle that we had last year.
And later, the biggest meteor shower of the year peaks tonight. But will you be able to see it?
It's not an ideal year.
We'll meet an astronomer who says it will still be worth staying up to watch.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
And good evening. A chemical compound most associated with doctors, dentists, and street racers is making a dangerous comeback as a recreational drug. And one Bay Area county is taking new action to ban it. We're talking about nitrous oxide, the inhalant also known as laughing gas. Just yesterday, San Jose police announced they seized more than 400 canisters of nitrous oxide, among other drugs, from a handful of smoke shops. It's gotten so out of hand, the FDA put out an advisory telling people not to inhale it. CDC data shows a worrying trend. In 2010, 23 people died in the U.S. from nitrous oxide poisoning. There was a huge spike in 2016, and it has only risen since, with more than 150 deaths in 2023. Our Lauren Toms introduces us to a San Mateo County teenager leading a movement to keep his peers safe from the dangerous drug.
It's often called laughing gas, but officials in San Mateo County say the distribution of nitrous oxide is no laughing matter. Sold in small canisters, it's easy to buy at most smoke shops and delivers a brief euphoric high. But 19-year-old Mateo Garcia wants to put an end to the trend before it goes too far.
What stood out to me is how dangerous and addictive it can be, and how it's become very accessible for younger people. And we've seen that it's been sold in areas like smoke shops without age verification.
He helped write an ordinance approved by the San Mateo County Board of Supervisors that would ban the distribution of nitrous oxide in unincorporated parts of the county. Supervisors hope it encourages other cities in the county to explore their own bans.
I think I just want a lot of younger people to get their hands off of it. Like, one of the things that we put in the bill was that it was going to be banned unless you have a permit, so that way it's not sold in smoke shops.
Also known as whippets, the gas has erupted in popularity on social media. Just a quick Instagram search shows hundreds of videos of people buying and inhaling the gas in bright packages like the brand Galaxy Gas. Under California law, it's already a misdemeanor to sell nitrous oxide for recreational use, and it's illegal to sell to minors. But it remains legal for use in food preparation, car repair, and most commonly for medical use as a mild sedative. But doctors like Stanford clinician Michael Chen warn that recreational use, especially over time, can lead to serious neurological damage.
And so, especially in the young developing brain, it can cause neurotoxicity, can cause peripheral neuropathy, and then cognitive impairment like memory loss and difficulty concentrating.
The gas has also made its way to center stage, becoming a popular option at music festivals. Earlier this month at the Dead & Company concert series in Golden Gate Park, police busted a vendor with nearly 100 tanks of nitrous oxide in his car and balloons known on the street as ice-cold fatties.
However, because some people think that it doesn't harm you, at least it doesn't appear to at the beginning, people can tend to use it fairly regularly.
The San Mateo County Board of Supervisors unanimously voted to draft an outright ban by August 26.
We have not only a moral and social responsibility to enact a legislation, but we really need to inform people of these adverse consequences.
And Mateo hopes to cut off the supply to protect his generation before they get hooked.
Just completely wrecks people's lives. And I just think that's not a substance that people should be able to get their hands on so easily, especially young people. So I'm hoping that this will help protect the youth of our county.
Teachers in San Francisco Unified say there are still problems with their paychecks, even after the school district paid $30 million for a new payroll system. Thousands of teachers and staff members reported missing and delayed payments with that previous system just a few years ago. The union said the district assured them the problems would be fixed with this new system. But they say at least 100 educators are still having problems with their paychecks. Minutes ago, dozens of impacted educators gathered in front of the school district's headquarters in San Francisco to speak about the issues.
When people don't get their pay, none of that matters. What matters is that the system needs to work on day one. People need to get their checks because people's rent is due on day one.
San Francisco Superintendent Maria Su says that since the district transitioned to the new system, 97% of issued paychecks have been accurate. She says of the 750 tickets reported, more than 650 of them have since been resolved.
I firmly believe as we, the school district employees, get better trained at using the system and at using the system, our error rates are going to continue to drop.
The first day of school for San Francisco Unified is coming this Monday. Students in Walnut Creek returned to class today, and we saw some excited faces heading into Buena Vista Elementary School just this morning. Several other Bay Area school districts also had their first day, including Fremont, Dublin, Moraga, Benicia, and San Mateo Foster City. But there is concern about falling vaccination rates as kids return to school. Health officials say those rates need to be high in order to maintain herd immunity. Our Kara St. Cyr has a closer look at the new federal data and where California stands.
Dr. Noha Abalada founded Root Community Health to keep East Oakland safe.
So this is a vaccination room, so this is where we store all of the vaccines.
But the national trend of declining vaccination rates is making that harder.
This is the diphtheria, tetanus, and the acellular pertussis, and you would be getting your fifth one right around that kindergarten age.
The CDC released a report showing that kindergarten vaccination rates dipped to 92.5%. Experts say schools need 95 to reach herd immunity. The decline marks a 5-year trend of parents opting out of vaccines.
That is heading in the wrong direction, for one thing, and it's too low for several of our childhood illnesses.
California counties are outpacing national vaccination rates with 96% immunity. But data from the State Department of Public Health shows that those numbers are also on the decline.
In California, over recent years, we've seen a general pattern that some counties in the northern or central areas may have lower immunization, but I wouldn't say that that is a consistent pattern.
Dr. Lily Horn, a public health medical officer at the department, says exemptions play a role in decreasing immunity.
When personal belief exemptions were removed, was an increase in students reported with medical exemption.
California law doesn't allow personal belief exemptions, but schools can accept medical ones.
I think what's happening is unfortunately a lot of distrust.
Dr. Abalada's goal is to restore that trust.
It won't just be about one person opting out or not, it will be about the vulnerability of the entire population.
Saying it's vital for a child's safety.
So measles was declared eliminated in the United States in the year 2000, about 11 years after the vaccine dosage was increased. But now, nationally, there are over 1,300 confirmed measles cases, the highest number since 1992. 3 people have died. In California, there are 20 confirmed cases of the measles so far this year, and that includes San Mateo and Santa Clara counties, which had 1 case each. All right, you may have noticed some haze today. The Bay Area is under an air quality advisory. The Gifford fire burning on the Central Coast is sending smoke our way. The Air District says you may be able to smell smoke at higher elevations. Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan is here. And Paul, actually, you were saying this should not be cause for concern.
No, you were looking at fog there from the Mark Hopkins Hotel. That would be a lot of smoke if it was smoke. But fortunately, what little we have seen blowing up towards us from the fires burning in the southern half of the state has largely remained elevated in the atmosphere. Some good news around the Canyon fire. The containment levels up to 96%, and the size of the fire has not budged at all. So fire crews are getting a good handle on that one. The Gifford fire continues to be a challenge. Still just 33% contained, and it has now grown to 125,000 1,000 acres plus. What's been helping us out, keeping the smoke elevated in the atmosphere as opposed to at ground level where we have to breathe it, is the onshore breeze. And that's going to continue to push even the elevated smoke away from us as we head through the next couple of days. Let's take a look at the smoke simulation. You can see the bulk of it is going to be closer to the Gifford fire itself, being moved farther and farther away from the Bay Area. So it is unlikely that our air quality is going to be anything that we need to be concerned about. And in fact, as long as you can remain in the good category, which is where we saw most of those readings today around the Bay Area. Pan farther to the south, though, and we had a lot of moderate readings over Southern California. That's where the bulk of the surface level smoke from the Gifford fire has been blowing down towards Los Angeles and San Diego. We'll talk about what our temperatures are going to do over the next several days as we track that fog spreading out already. It's coming up in just a few minutes. Jules?
All right. Thanks so much, Paul. So as for the Gifford fire, it is currently the largest in the state and continued to grow overnight. It's burning in the Los Padres National Forest in Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo counties. It is so remote, the Forest Service has had to fly fire crews in with helicopters. The fire continues to spread to the northwest. And as Paul mentioned, it's burned 190 square miles, bigger than the city of San Jose. It's 33% contained. All right, still ahead here at 6, a cheaper way getting across the bay. We're going to check in with the return of a carpool program that died out during the pandemic. Plus, we are just a few hours away from being able to see the largest meteor of the year. We'll meet an astronomer who says it's more than worth staying up for, even if the moon might get in the way. The CHP says a deadly crash near the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge this morning was caused by a suspected drunk driver going the wrong direction. It happened near the toll plaza. The CHP says they got a call around 1:30 this morning that a Range Rover was headed the wrong way on 580. Minutes later, it collided head-on with a Honda Civic in the far left lane. The Honda driver died at the scene while the Range Rover driver was rushed to the hospital with critical injuries. Eastbound lanes to the bridge were forced to shut down until just before 5 a.m. A once popular Bay Area commuter program made its comeback today as demand increases for in-person work. Casual carpools shut down during the pandemic. The service allows strangers to share a ride across the Bay Bridge. Drivers can pick up 2 riders at Lake Park and Lakeshore Avenue in Oakland to qualify for discounted tolls and then drop them off on Howard Street in San Francisco. One driver says it is all about community.
It's a really wonderful way to show that I have faith in my community, that I believe that we can be resilient together and that we can help each other make ends meet.
The program's organizers said there are plans to open 3 more locations in the next month and that the goal is to get all 20 locations up and running by this time next year. San Francisco-based AI company Perplexity is trying to buy Google's Chrome browser for $34 billion. Perplexity already has its own AI search engine. The offer comes after a court ruled last year that Google was a search monopoly. So around this time of year, we would be able to look to the skies and see shooting stars as part of the Perseid meteor shower. Well, this year's shower, however, may be a little bit disappointing. Brian Hackney explains that while there may not be much of a show, though, it still is worth going out for a glimpse.
Usually on the night of August 12th, it's a great time to spot a shooting star.
Oh, wow.
Because tonight's the peak of the Perseids, the biggest meteor shower of the year by Jiminy.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are.
Especially when we're talking about the Perseid.
It's one of the best. And it's so reliable. That's one of the reasons it's a fun one to go out for, even if you don't see a lot.
And tonight, we won't, because there's a big spotlight on the event. The moon will be out right during the peak of the shower after midnight tonight.
Yeah, it's not an ideal year, you're right. With the moon in the right place, unfortunately, in this phase that it's in, it's going to be too bright to pick up the little ones.
If it were an ideal year, we would 1, be away from city lights, 2, wait until after midnight and about an hour or 2 before sunrise. That's the ideal time. And then we'd expect to see about a meteor a minute. But 2 problems. 1, fog in the usual places, and 2, the moon, which will be a problem for everybody.
But it isn't a reason not to go. because the brighter ones will still be visible. And instead of maybe seeing one a minute, maybe you're going to see one every 10 or 15 minutes. Even if you don't see any at all, just looking where the moon is and asking the questions, well, why is it lit that way? And where's the sun? And what constellation and stars and what planets are up? That's a good time for a family.
Wow. So fair warning, tonight's meteor shower won't produce the usual show.
But the brighter ones will still shine, even with the moon. And you can still make a wish on them.
And if despite everything you still see a meteor a minute tonight, well then.
Your dreams come
The Perseid meteor shower is active from mid-July to late August each year and is expected to be most visible tonight until just before dawn tomorrow morning. All right, coming up, the Valkyries, they unveiled their new mascot, and she's already getting rave reviews. I agree.
That's how you get people hyped up. I love her.
We'll introduce you to Violet the Raven after her raucous debut at Valhalla. So check this out. Startling video from South Carolina shows the moment lightning sparked a pair of explosions. So this video shared by police in Mount Pleasant. The bolt turns a power pole and transformer into a fireball. So on the left, and then it sparks a bright arcing blast in overhead equipment on the right. So the strike left about 600 customers without power. Thankfully, and hardly to believe here, no one was hurt. So that is the good news, right? In all of that.
That's, those things are pretty high up on power poles. So
Yeah.
when that happens,
Yeah.
the people aren't around to get hit by any kind of shrapnel. That happened outside
Look
our
at
house when I was
that.
growing up. I was about 10, 11 years old.
Really?
Probably about maybe 75 feet from our back door.
Oh, gosh.
It sounded like God snapping his fingers. It was
That's scary.
incredible.
Yeah, power went out
Yeah,
all
something
over.
we don't have to contend with a whole lot here.
No, we
The
don't.
lightning strikes tend to be pretty few and far between.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they do.
thankfully, this time of year.
And it's cooling down. It's not hot,
cooling
hot,
down.
hot inland.
Exactly. We're doing okay. Let's take a look at what's in store as we head through the next several days. The weather headlines as we head through the rest of this week. The fog and low cloud cover spreading out once again as we head through the rest of tonight. Gusty onshore winds for one more day, and then those winds back down a little bit Thursday and Friday, which means a little baby warm up late this week before temperatures cool off again as we head into the weekend. Friday, the hottest day in the 7-day forecast. Even then, temperatures are going to be about 2 to 4 degrees above average. Really no significant departure from what's normal for this time of year. That's normal. Foggish weather. The fog is really spreading out already. Temperature only 62 downtown and 66 across the bay. Mostly 70s inland, although you are still holding on to 82 degrees right now in Concord, but we'll all end up in the 50s by early tomorrow morning, which is near or even slightly below average for this time of year as the fog continues to spread out. Futurecast shows it making a good push into the inland valleys as we begin the day tomorrow. Once the sun comes up, it doesn't take too long for that to retreat to around the bay at least, but I think clearing is just going to be underway by late morning to around lunchtime for Bayside locations, with the fog finally retreating all the way to the coast by early afternoon. So temperatures are going to end up a couple degrees below what's typical for this time of year, but that means it's going to be a pleasant August day. Let's take a look at the specific numbers for tomorrow, climbing up to around 80 degrees in San Jose. It's exactly 1 degree below normal. Mid-80s for Los Gatos. 90 at Morgan Hill will be one of the hot spots around the entire region. East of the Oakland Hills, mostly 80s, mid to upper 80s. Again, in August, we're doing just fine there. Temperatures around the bay, a mix of 60s and 70s with near 80-degree highs down the peninsula in Redwood City. Low to mid 60s at the coast with plenty of fog throughout the day. And then mostly 70s for the North Bay. These are going to be the biggest departures that we see from normal high temperatures, running close to 10 degrees below average in Santa Rosa, the presence of that morning fog and the southwesterly wind making its way into those inland valleys of the North Bay, keeping your temperatures cool, even only reaching the mid 80s around Healdsburg. Usually this time of year, you are well into the neighborhood, at least, of 90 degrees. Dog walking forecast for tomorrow brought to you by an adoptable pup. Tadachi is means loyal or faithful in Japanese. So what a perfect name for an adoptable pup. If you're interested, I'll put up a link on Blue Sky and Instagram right after this weathercast. Temperatures tomorrow there only reaching up into the low 70s. So even the Huskies not minding these summertime temperatures. Eventually we are going to warm up, but first the winds have to die down. They're in the process of doing that this evening. They'll pick back up and we'll have some 30-mile-an-hour-ish gusts tomorrow, but the wind should be slightly lower on Thursday, which means temperatures are going to take that first step up. But we're not actually going to reach up to above average highs until the end of the work week on Friday. That's the point at which temperatures inland are going to kind of flirt with 90 degrees, maybe even making into the low 90s for some of the hottest locations. But then it's down the other side of the temperature roller coaster into the 80s for the most part as we head through the weekend into early next week. Jules is lurking right here.
Did I get too close?
Just looking at me, making me nervous.
Sorry, do you have another set of tubes? Oh, gosh. I came in too early.
She has
Sorry.
an ulterior motive, just standing there. She's going to snipe me. Temperatures around the Bay are going to stay in the 70s over the course of the next 7 days. And at the coast, the fog is going to go kind of back and forth as we head through the 7-day forecast. On the warmest days, when the sun does peek through, you should climb a little bit farther into the 60s. I'm just giving you can come on in. Okay, there we go.
All right. Yeah, I was standing about right this. Good job. You weren't phased. You just kept on going.
I'm going to do that during the tease here.
All right. Anyway, coming up, we
How do you like it?
Yeah, I know, right? Gosh. We need some space. When we come back, the mysterious purple egg at Thrive City finally hatched. We're going to meet the Golden State Valkyries' newest team member. But first, Liz Cook has a look at a story coming up on the CBS Evening News.
I'm Elizabeth Cook. 80% of our nation's peaches are grown in farms right here in California. Coming up, I'll show you why this fruit, which is synonymous with summer, had a tough time getting to you. That's tonight's Eye in America.
So the Valkyries picked up their second straight win last night, but someone else clearly stole the show. The fans got to meet the newest member of the team. Take a look.
Oh my gosh! Valhalla! She's here!
So cool. That is Violet the Raven, who made her debut at Valhalla. Violet is Golden State's official mascot. She hatched yesterday from that mysterious egg that had been at Chase Center and introduced herself to fans at halftime. And so far, she's making a great impression.
She's so cute. Oh my, and she hit that the sneeze. I was like, okay. Yes, I was like, that is our mascot.
She gives off Bay Area aura.
Yeah. That's how you get people hyped up. I love her.
So cute. In Norse mythology, ravens are known as helpful messengers who aided the Valkyries in battle. They're also considered guardians of good fortune. And so far, Golden State is undefeated with Violet in the building. The numbers speak for themselves. So we're not sure if Violet will be there making the trip to Washington when the Valkyries take on the Mystics tomorrow night, but you can watch that game right here on KPIX. Pre-game coverage starts at 4 p.m. Meantime, today was the last chance for 49ers fans to see the team practicing in preseason and in person. The red and gold are getting ready to head to Vegas to take on the Raiders in a preseason tune-up. And don't forget, no way, we are the official station of the 49ers preseason football. You can watch them take on the Raiders this Saturday on KPIX. Kickoff is slated for 1 p.m. All right, CBS Evening News is next on KPIX. Local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. We're back here in 30 minutes with CBS News Bay Area at 7. We'll see you then.